Man finds himself on missing kid's website. Steve Carter had always wondered what the truth was about his past, and sparked a shocking discovery after spotting himself on a missing children website. The salesman from Philadelphia, US knew he'd been adopted from an orphanage in Honolulu, Hawaii when he was 4 years old, but he didn't know why. The desire to find out the truth about his identity increased as he got older, so he began looking in 2011. After hearing about the case of Carlina White, Steve began to wonder, CNN reported. Carlina was kidnapped by a woman posing as a nurse at a hospital in New York City when she was a 3-week-old baby. She was reunited with her birth parents years later after discovering the truth after finding her baby picture on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children website when she was 23. Steve followed his hunch and decided to look on missingkids.org in the hope of finding answers. That's how at the age of 34 in 2011, he found himself staring at an age progression photo of a boy that looked almost identical to himself on a missing children's website, next to a picture of a baby which vanished in Hawaii. Immediately, Steve knew it was him and contacted the Honolulu Police Department. "I let them know my info and they ran with it," he later said to CNN. "They were the ones who did all the legwork of investigating the case." "I got chills," Steve later told People magazine. "I was like, holy crap, it's me." Steve volunteered for a DNA test in February 2011, and 8 months later its findings revealed fragments of his story and the name he'd been given at birth, Mark Panama Moriarty Barnes. His biological father, Mark Barnes, reported him missing more than 3 decades ago after his mother, Charlotte Moriarty, took him for a walk when he was 6 months old and didn't return. Steve discovered that his mother took him to a stranger's home where she gave police a fake name and birthday for her son. She was taken to a psychiatric hospital and Carter was put in protective care, People magazine reported, but she vanished a few days later. 3 years later, Steve was adopted by Steve and Pat Carter, who raised him in New Jersey. After his identity was confirmed by police, Steve called Jennifer Monheimer, his mother's daughter and his older half-sister. Jennifer was 8 and living with her father in New Mexico when her mother and Steve vanished. She had assumed they had died but persuaded police to reopen the case, which is how Steve's photo ended up on missingkids.org. Steve's dad, Mark Barnes, told People magazine that when he spoke to his son for the first time, "All I could say was wow. Oh wow, wow." He recalled how rough it had been to suddenly lose his girlfriend and son. "I spent about a year and a half going crazy driving around the island," he told People. "They knew I'd been located, but they were very surprised," Steve later told CNN, describing the experience as a lot to digest. Steve told media in 2012 he was going to approach getting to know his biological family slowly, but was happy he had discovered the truth. He said it was a happy ending to a story that usually isn't a happy ending. "Good things do happen," he said.